YouTubes, welcome back to my YouTube channel for another Vlogmas. Excuse the ring light glare on my glasses, but shout out to another Vlogmas video, guys. I am doing this thing, and actually today is really rainy, and I already planned yesterday that today would be a ministry focused, God focused day. I don't know about that. I don't know about you guys, but I know when I was working my 9 to 5, this was very hard to do some days, to have a full God focused day. And so I would use once in a while, like maybe once a month, I would use a Saturday to where I didn't do a lot of extra stuff. It was all about the focus of the vision. It was about the focus of the content and the messages that God gave me. And so that is something that I personally would do on a Saturday or something like that. And honestly, I've been running around for the holidays and traveling and just doing a lot of content too for you guys. And so I just needed to get filled up. I can feel it in my spirit when I need to be filled up. I feel it when I'm wanting to spend. I can feel God pulling me to that time, but I have these responsibilities that I first have to handle. And so I decided to stay up really late last night and kick out a lot of responsibilities so that today could be a day with God. And I'm not going to be showing you everything I'm doing today because it wouldn't be truly authentic with God. So I'm going to give you a little snippet. I'm going to give you a little piece, a little sprinkle, dipple, dabble, and just to show you guys how I do it, just to inspire somebody who is even in ministry or building a ministry or wanting to go into business or whatever it may be. How you can use your time with God to really help you develop that vision, okay? So, you can tell I just got out of the shower, got my cup of hot chocolate. I'm sitting here at my desk because I've talked about this thing a lot, and it is called Trello.com. I use Trello.com so much to plan my videos, to plan my content, to plan my ministry-based content. If I'm going to be doing a new freebie, if I'm going to write an ebook, whatever I do, I outline it in Trello. Even my courses and everything, it starts in Trello. So I get the idea and I go to Trello and I add all these things. So Trello is free. It's not sponsored, but this will be helpful for somebody because I know today specifically I'm going to be on Trello a lot. I'm going to be getting out all the ideas because today my focus is 2021. We are going into 2021 strong this year. I'm believing it. I'm doing a corporate fast, so be on the lookout for that. I do one every year. And so I'm preparing myself for that. I'm also going to be doing a lot more different things into the ministry and things like that. And so I am doing that. Another thing that I use the handy dandy cell phone. So something I use on my iPhone is called voice memos, where you can audio record yourself. When I had an Android, it did not necessarily have that app. So I had to go on the app store and just find an app that was about recording your audio, like just to record yourself, like your audio. I mean, you can pull your camera out and just record your visual self. But I realized at times when I was working my 9 to 5, if I was laying in bed and I would get these amazing ideas, sometimes I didn't have the time to write it out, right? And so I would put my voice memo on and I would record that idea and I would stop it and then I would come back to it on a later date. So for example, the other night I was laying in bed and I was getting a lot of ideas and a lot of clarity and a lot of vision for 2021. And I didn't have my notebook with me. And so instead of running in here, I just grabbed my audio and I've recorded myself talking about these visions. And so today I'm going to go back. I'm going to clarify, listen to it, write it down, get it, plan it, and make sure I execute on the vision that God has called me to do. And so that is a great way I help myself stay on tack. All right. Something else you guys know that I'm really big about is although I use Google Calendars to kind of plan out my day and stuff, but when it comes to the daily ministry tasks, I use just a notebook. I have a whole notebook that is specifically towards my daily tasks. And something I always encourage you guys to do is to always have a top 3 or top 4 of the day. Even when I worked a 9 to 5, I would always have like my top 3 or my top 4 things that I knew I had to get done that day before I went to bed. That meant, Morgan, before you go to bed tonight, you have to finish editing this video. That might be your one thing. Some days it was like, Morgan, you've got to send an email, you've got to respond back to this person, and you've got to reach out to this person or whatever. That might be my 3 things. It might be scheduling content, whatever it may be, record a video. I always make sure I had at least a top 3 of things I have to do every day. Now for today, for example, my top 3 today is spending time with Jesus, like real intimate time, no rushing, no nothing. My next thing is planning for 2021, getting stuff together for 2021 for the ministry. And then the third thing is spending quality time in my home by myself with Monty J and just some QT. So really, those are my top 3. So that's really fun and easy for me to do. And so that's why I'm doing this. So that's something I do use. I do use this like little notebook, but I just finished this out. And so I bought a new one, and I couldn't find one quite the same size. I love the sizing of this, but I just went ahead and got a really big one from Walmart, very cheap notebook, just to help me along this journey to make sure I clarify everything. You guys know I use a lot of pads and stuff when I'm making Bible notes and I'm studying and things like that, so that really does help me. Next thing is something that I do on my ministry days is I usually sit at my island. Sometimes I've been sitting at my Vandy a few times, but I usually just sit down, I grab one of my Bibles. You guys know I have quite a few Bibles, and I also have some Bible encyclopedias. So for example, when I was doing the Esther Bible study, I read the book of Esther, but I also got my Bible encyclopedia and looked up Esther and looked up like her background and looked up a lot of things about the area that she was coming from. So that really does help me too. So when I'm doing this time with God and God gives me a word, okay? God could give me one word. He could give me a plethora of words. He could give me a plethora of things to focus on. That's what I do on these days. I grab my Bible, I grab my Strongs, my concordance, my encyclopedias, whatever I need, and I either sit on my island, or I used to do it on the floor before Monty came, but now I sit on my island, I lay out all these Bibles, and I get to studying and I get to understanding what is God saying for me in this particular season or with this particular word, and what does he want me to deliver unto his people. So that's kind of something that I personally do on these days, and so that's what I will be doing today. And I'm so excited because I haven't had one of these like just dig deep days in probably like 2 weeks, and so I am like needing this. Holidays was last week. The week before that I was getting ready for some sales and things like that, so I just didn't have a dig deep day. And so guys, you know that I do prayer journal a lot though, so that is like my daily habit. That's like a daily thing I do, obviously during my devotion time and stuff, but this right here really helps me stay on track with the ministry and planning for the ministry. Okay, and so I said a whole lot because today is really just one of those, it's raining here, I've got the Christmas tree up. I mean, today just feels really soulful and it feels really warm within. You know, it's cold outside, it's rainy, it's gloomy, but I can tell this is the day to get it, to heal, to refresh, to replenish. And so I love days like this because these are the days I'm not very active on social media. I mean, these are the days I post like, I got a new video up and that's it, or a quotable and I call it a day. These are the days I take time away from social media and I just really spend time with God and just spend time getting back to the basics with God and back to before I even had the ministry. And I love days like this. I love being reminded of times before I had the ministry and how it wasn't about I have to produce this content or hey, I need to respond to this person. It wasn't about that back then. It was just me and Jesus and just whatever I felt Jesus was leading me to. And so when I have days like this, it reminds me of that. And so I'll encourage you. You may need to remind yourself of a day before you had your children or before you had all those certain responsibilities all over you that, you know, just go back to the basics with God. And if it's an hour, if it's 20 minutes, just take time to sit and plan and figure out where are you headed? What are you working towards? And what does God have for you in this season? I will say, it says it in the word, without a vision, the people perish. You guys know I am so crazy. I'm so gung-ho about having a vision and going after your God-given purpose fearlessly. But you have to know where you're headed. As many times I found myself depressed and lacking and not feeling very secure in God because I was unsure about my vision. But when I got clear on my vision, I had such a fire and a zeal. There were times when I was so clear on my vision, I would not want to go to sleep because I wanted to work towards that thing so bad. And so when I was not in those places of just hungry for what God had for me, I was more likely to lay around, twiddle my fingers, you know, get distracted, all that great stuff. So I want to encourage you to make sure you're taking some time, even if it's 10 minutes, take 10, 20 minutes with God. God, what are you wanting me to do for this next upcoming year? What do you have for me? What is the goal that I have to achieve? What are the 3 things you say have to be done in this year? What is my one word for this new year? You know, you need to ask that question until your heart is ready and prepared for what God has for you. Well, you guys, I did a lot of talking because really it's my chill time. I'm doing a little bit of like ministry. I call this my ministry meeting with God days because I need these days. These days replenish my soul and they keep me off of social media and they keep me just back focused on things that I know God has been purposefully pouring into me. And so I'm going to be on my computer typing in things in Trello. I'm going to be listening to my audio recordings that I've been making that I haven't got to catch up on. I'm going to be jotting down the words that God has been giving me throughout the weeks. I'm going to be cleaning off this board and adding new things to it because I know I got some new things to put on here. I'm going to be grabbing the Bible and getting into some study. And I'm just going to be getting into the words that God has been putting on my heart and the words he has for his children. And so there's just so much I'm going to be doing today, but it's just, that's fun to me. That's so crazy. That's fun to me. Like this is like in a candy store for me personally today is. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I'm not taking you through this whole process with me. Why? Because it wouldn't be very organic and it would be kind of coming into me in Jesus's time, and it's really precious. He's mine, I'm his. I want him to myself sometimes, and he wants me to himself. So I just want that time without thinking of, is this the right angle, girl? How you looking? Is the lighting right? Like I would rather that just to be focused on me and him. So make sure though you follow me on Instagram because I do once in a while just occasionally pop up a message. I occasionally just pop up with some behind the scenes. And so make sure you follow me on Instagram because that could be a possibility. Today I'm popping up things behind the scenes and you can see that. And so I just hope that this inspires you and gets you on your path to trusting God during this Christmas season. We are doing this Vlogmas thing, girl. I hope you are proud of me. And last but not least, guys, make sure you comment down below. Are you going to do a ministry meeting with God? Have you sat down and done a ministry meeting, a life meeting, a job meeting, a prosperity meeting, whatever it is that you need to see where you're going to prosper, a directional meeting, a clarification meeting with God? Have a meeting with God, okay? Grab your Bibles, grab your notebooks, petition your prayers to God, your questions, and let him and his spirit minister back to you on those things. It says in the word, if you seek, you shall find. If you ask, it will be given unto you. So you got to seek it, boo. You got to seek it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching with me. I love you so much. I pray this blessed you and ministered to you. And I will see you in our next Vlogmas. Love you guys. Bye.